man, I I could get OBS out and click stream, or I could save myself the 4 seconds of effort.
Oh no, that's fine. I understand.
No, 4 seconds of effort, that's a lot to ask of someone.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity, do you guys hear the music?
I have the music turned off.
Yeah, I think I have my music off as well.
Let me turn it on.
I can see that there is trumpet. That I don't have permission.
Your mic is picking up literally everything, James.
Okay, I'll just stop talking. Bye.
No. I'm just saying, like.
I know it does, Cole. Come on. I bought this thing. I know how it works. You don't have to tell me.
Wait a second. How?
This isn't the right game. It's a completely wrong game.
I should be hearing it right now, but it.
Go figure. Let's see what happens if I go to the next song.
Maybe I need to turn up the MP3 player.
No, I just cranked mine up. Still can't hear anything. It doesn't look like it's playing. Like the timer at the bottom isn't going down.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I was just curious. I don't have anything
Turn that
particularly
volume
set
down.
up, but yeah.
Blade Runner soundtrack.
No, yeah, I was thinking if I get some good audio for next time. Now, I didn't know it was an option until right when I opened it up. But yeah, that could be cool if I get some nice ambience. Le Poisson.
Croissant.
They blew up though. We kind of did that. Oh god. Die, guys. So I'll give everyone a moment to collect themselves, reacquaint themselves with Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, who wants to be captain today?
I think luckily that's not going to necessarily be such an issue this session.
No, good.
I don't know, isn't Fishy the only one still on the ship, so that makes him captain?
Yep. Basically, yeah.
Yeah. I'm captain.
The rest of you are just, being jailed off, hauled off somewhere.
Alright, so we enter into this session. I've already given you guys all of your tokens. People who needed more fate points have them all. Fishy started this session at 4, so you guys keep them. So yeah, we begin the session. I'll give you just a little bit of like what's been going on. Not that any of you would be aware of it, except for Gok. So they try to knock all of you out, and it works on most of you, except for the robot, who they don't find. and Gok, who they shoot plenty of tranquilizers into, but were ineffective. So they basically just have to brute force Gok out of there. So they drag you into a large ship. The other crewmates that they drag out are taken down a different corridor from you. You're dragged into a medical area. You're familiar with such things because you know, they have a pretty standard complement of decent tech medical facilities there on the on what you can only take to be a very large ship. Yeah, and they pull you in and they sort of like they clamp you down to like the to the operating table, and then realize they need some more clamps and things, and like go and have to get like additional restraints to try and get down your many appendages and such. But after you're so subdued, they begin trying a variety of different things to knock you out and figure out what to do. You see a doctor sort of like takes a sample of your blood, and he's like trying different things on the sample, like over with a computer and microscope and some petri dishes.
Are you having any luck there? If you find something that actually does knock me out, I would love to know. I've been looking. Just ever since we got that like fourth liver in us, it's just nothing knocks us out anymore. I swear.
He's trying to hide it, but you can tell he's perturbed. And he comes around with a new like set of syringes, and just sort of like tries one, and like sort of stands back and waits and watches you with like a clipboard and a pen.
S-
Nothing.
Just still alert.
Give me a roll. Would it be forceful maybe?
Sure. Force of keeping me awake. So
So yeah, as long as
3? Yeah.
yeah, you're fine. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. So he like makes a couple of notes. You know, doesn't look phased, comes up to you, and he like sort of skips over the next one and goes down to like the third syringe on his tray. Like tries that one on you. Give me another
But little did they know it was the second one that would have worked all along.
roll.
Oh, I got 0.
0. All right. So this one, you feel yourself getting like you feel something, but it's not like drowsiness, and you realize, man, that's some great shit.
Ooh, oh, what was in that one? I think you're onto something here.
He like looks at you perturbed, and makes a note angrily in his little journal, and goes on to the last one and tries it on you.
2.
2. No effect still, and he finally just like gives up and says like, all right, well, we're going to have to try something a little bit more experimental. And he takes out like a basically like a set of jumper cables and like puts them across your
beating
head
you.
and like cranks up the voltage on the machine and zaps your head a little bit, and that knocks you out. Basically like electrical stun just disrupts your brain
Like a
network.
giant taser.
Yeah.
Gotta love brute force.
Yep.
I was
So
reminded
God's-
of that one guy on Reddit who ended all of his posts with his father beating him with jumper cables.
Jesus. Oh man. And yeah, so you're eventually subdued. Things go black for you as well. Aboard the ship, what did we end up? What was your robo name?
HM?
HM. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, on the ship, HM you would notice that like while your ship is turned off and there's like a skeleton crew on board, they pilot it up and dock it with this much larger ship.
Yeah.
It's basically like internally docked, like inside of a large hangar bay. But yeah, at that point the skeleton crew leaves. They like shut all the systems down, and yeah, they basically you never hear anybody else come aboard the ship after like a while. For the rest of you, you begin to wake up in your cells, and you're not the only ones in these cells. There's also a few other rough-looking people, as well as somebody who's clearly identifiable by their uniform as a Union officer. There's a few guards. They look very, well trained and stern. They aren't really doing anything much, but while you're sort of phasing in and out of consciousness, you hear heated discussions about what's to be done with you.
I like naps. Naps are good. Let's keep doing that.
You like what?
I like naps. Naps are good. Let's keep doing that.
Cole, you in particular, when Silas? Cyrus. When Cyrus wakes up, he notices in particular that something has changed, and almost all of your cybernetics have been deactivated.
Of course.
This is like, they haven't been like removed or dismantled in like some horrible way. Just like one key replaceable component has been removed essentially.
Gotcha.
And
Not
yeah.
the spark plug.
Basically, yeah. And you are quite heavily augmented though, so you find yourself quite like not just back to a normal human standard, but significantly reduced in your capabilities.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. That sucks.
Yep, but you're not in like necessarily like any pain. Not all of your cybernetics have been disabled. Like you have a few that are like connected to your brain and stuff that are basically still going, just nothing that they can connect with.
All right.
And then as for the octopus, so everybody else is in like a holding cell that has just standard sort of bars. They're not just like iron bars. They're like
Oh no, they put me in a fish bowl.
fish tank. No, you're not quite in a fish bowl, but yours has, instead of bars, like a full like plexiglass. It's not plexiglass. It's probably something much more durable than that, but some sort of resistant glass-like material with just very tiny holes poked into it along it.
Ah, dang it.
Yeah, you have like a fully enclosed sort of area that you're in. Like the vents have like metal like meshes and things on them, such like that, to keep you from slipping through. This isn't their first rodeo. They're aware of your species. But yeah, you find yourself so contained, and once you fully come to, the guards talk over a comm sort of built into the wall in the room, and tell the captain that you are awake. And the captain and the first officer come in, and yeah, they're wearing uniforms, but not Union uniforms. They're quite a lot cheaper make, and different insignia. You notice the main difference is that instead of like USS, it has things like CSS on it.
Ah, yes, the Confederacy.
That is actually the case, yeah. Any of you who are familiar with like history would know that there was once a confederacy that fought against the Union. It's not like that long ago, but like a generation ago.
So Civil War Part 2 in
I mean,
space.
yeah. I mean, kind of like that. More of like a rebellion from the outer worlds against the central worlds.
Yeah, I'm just fucking around.
Come on, you guys have seen Star Wars. Y'all know what's up.
Yeah, yeah. It's classic.
All right.
Yeah, they approach you and they basically say there's a lot of people who would have you executed for what you've done, but we don't do things like that. Beyond that, after reviewing some of the transmission logs, it seems like there's a chance you weren't quite aware of what you were doing.
Yeah, so does anyone want to tell me what we actually did do?
You've destroyed a major base of operations by smuggling aboard a large explosive device.
Oh.
Well, now we know what was in the box.
Unfortunately, I can't trust you just outright and let you free. Even if you weren't aware, you still have quite a lot to answer for. And I have to get a lot more answers before we even begin to discuss anything like a trial. So for now, you are captives of our ship of the Confederacy, and you will be kept in decent standing so long as you don't give us any reason to get rid of you.
Do I have like a metal cup in my cell that I can run against the bars?
Yeah, if you
With
wanted to.
harmonicas.
Your cells are actually not that bad. Most of the furniture is like molded plastics and metals, like enamel paint coatings and things like that. The ship's really not a bad ship at all.
So
Like, unlike yours, everything is, nice and paneled and bright and not rusty.
on a scale from Sweden to America, how bad is it, or how good is it?
I mean, I don't know. That's a weird scale, but it's pretty nice. It's got that like military like cleanliness to it and efficiency, where everything is just, somebody runs over it with like a white glove to see if there's any dust and stuff like that.
I've never been to a Swedish prison before.
But yeah. So it's a pretty nice jail cell. Yeah, you're kept there for a while. You after a few days questioning, and you tell them your story, and it seems like the captain tends to believe you, but the first officer doesn't. You also have learned the names of these two people. The captain is Captain Almino, and the first officer is Officer Lido.
Repeat those again.
Captain Almino and First Officer Leto, L-E-T-O.
Like Elliot, like ELLITO.
No, L-E-T-O.
Okay, Lido.
Yeah. And you find yourselves aboard the Confederate starship Heliotrope.
All right.
So yeah, you find yourselves in this situation. How do you guys behave?
Well, I mean, I don't think Cyrus moves too much. He'll move if he needs to. or like he'll move to get some like to get his like blood flowing or whatever, but he's like really slow.
Gotcha.
He's got, or at least lumbering at, because there's a lot of heavy metal on him, and the machinery that powers the heavy metal is off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like you're wearing lead boots. It sucks.
But yeah, he'll definitely he'll be a little bit sullen because it wasn't our fault. It's kind of just like sucks.
So, oh, I forgot to mention,
Yeah.
they do eventually drag in Gok, and Gok has been fitted with a harness that can be remotely like triggered to deliver a shock to knock out Gok.
All right.
Damn it, because I wanted to go and request like to be sedated again, but if they put that on me, I'm just gonna get electrocuted.
Yeah, yeah.
Ba, 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 ba.
I would like to attempt to remove this slyly over the course of time here, like not necessarily as a quick thing, but like somehow to disable it, maybe.
Yeah, you give me a roll. You work a lot with medicine and things like that, but you aren't necessarily the best at computers and
Oh, I assume this would
mechanics.
be a clever thing.
Yeah, it would be a clever thing.
One.
Oh, you have, yeah, one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't quite figure out how to disable it, but you think maybe you could, like, if you got enough like slime built up on like the the probes that are sticking into you, that maybe it might not work if you got it like gummed up enough. But like, it's a long shot.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
I can't let myself become disgusting.
Yeah, it's the only thing. It's the only thing that you could think of that you might be able to do. Otherwise, you don't think you can get out of it. It's basically like welded onto you. It's not welded onto you. It's like electric and magnetic sealed. But yeah, it's it's not moving.
Yeah. All right.
How about the rest of you? How are you taking your time here?
Otto is very obviously annoyed at being kept in captivity, but he is serious when it counts, like when he's being interrogated, and he shuts up very quickly whenever they mention the fact that a lot of people died.
All right. Yeah, I can see that. And how does our resident Squidonian handle things?
Silently.
Very stoically.
Hello,
What?
Sparkles. Paging Dr. Sparkles. I think we lost her. She's dead, Jim.
Oh no, they didn't give her the moisturizer that she needs. Her skin.
I thought she was in a tank. She's underwater.
She's not in water.
She's not in
like,
water. No, she's not.
No, it's just like a glass wall with holes in it.
I
They
started
actually
thinking
have the AC
aquarium.
on blast in there. It's getting very dry.
Yeah, dehumidifier. She's starting to look like SpongeBob in that one episode when SpongeBob goes into Sandy's house. He's too polite to ask for water.
Hmm.
We've lost the squid. Yep. Good squid.
Alright. I'll send her a private message, see if that wakes her up.
I'm back. Sorry.
There you
Welcome back.
Got- Yeah, thanks. I randomly got pulled away from the.
are. Problem. So, how have you been spending your time in captivity?
I have been pacing around the edge of my containment.
Gotcha, gotcha. Do you put up with like interrogation and stuff?
Yeah, but the whole time it's like rolling my eyes and stuff.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, yeah, that works. So yeah, some time goes by, and you begin to sort of grow on the captain, and some of you even you think the first officer is starting to believe you too. But there's, while you're getting on their good side, there's still no sign that you'll ever be, released from this predicament, and there's no sign that anything has moved forward yet. I mean, that said, you are in a prison cell, so it's not like you have many ways to get information. Especially considering the guards basically ignore you as much as they can. Like, they're paying attention to you, but they won't even talk with you when you like talk to them and stuff. But yeah, as some time passes, you feel a few different shifts in the ship. You've begun to like sort of figure out the different hums and sounds of the ship going in and out of like travel, and you think at one point it even docked with another ship, although you can't be sure. What have you been doing this whole time, HM?
I've been walking around the ship trying to figure out where the crew went.
just your
several
own ship?
days, just over and over around.
And then
Where are
eventually,
they? Have I checked over here?
Did
I'm
you?
like, huh,
And that poor
Did you
guy on
steal-
Interstellar who got left on the.
I'm getting to it. Eventually, I just give up and like, go about my business trying to find alcohol.
Actually, would any of us actually have told them about HM?
That is
Or
a
have
good
we all
question.
just forgotten he exists?
I don't think so. I'm running on the assumption that you haven't, either because you want the subterfuge or because you've forgotten about him.
For me, it's probably the latter, or for my character.
But you'll remember him soon, as he does discover your secret bottle of alcohol.
Because it was so expertly hidden in my room.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that you were holding it, and I went into your room because it was obvious.
Where else could
And
I have hidden it?
I don't know. It's a tiny ship, dude. It's our fault for the captain not getting anything better.
Yep.
Could have like taken out like a wall panel and like hidden it in there, and then the wall panel back. There's all kinds of hiding places on a ship.
Well,
Put it in some pipes and engineering or something.
it's too bad that I rolled poorly.
Yeah. Instead, you put it like what, under your bed or something?
Something like that.
Might as well have been in a box that says "Alcohol, please don't still."
Well,
No, I know, but it's fine.
It was
'cause
in the
you're-
cabinet with glass doors.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. You'll never see it here.
Hey, speaking of alcohol, I have a little like nip thing here, so I'm just gonna drink that to
Oh,
roleplay.
That works. That works.
Yeah.
It's
Bottoms
for
up.
the RP guys, don't worry.
Cheers to no one.
So the days go by, and one day there's some sort of commotion. It doesn't seem to be danger. There's no like explosions or anything like that, but there's no guards in the room, so you assume that they've been called away to do something else. And at this point, the Union officer, also incarcerated there, he starts trying to goad every one of the prisoners he can into helping him effect an escape plan. So, at first, it seems like maybe just mad ravings. You know, he's saying things like, "All right, if you work with me, we can get out of this place, and all of these assholes will see, you know, a prison cell of their own. You know, you can come with me, and we'll all make sure they see justice right." And he's like raving and ranting and all this, and then all of a sudden, he mentions your ship. He says, "There's a ship in the hangar bay that I found, and all I need is a good distraction, and we can get out of here. But I need help. I can't do everything needed to take off at once."
Wait, so you've been to the hangar
This
bay?
guy is gonna get himself killed.
I have my means of getting information.
That's very non-specific.
So,
I feel like I'd have to trust someone more before I escaped from prison with them.
Do what you like. You know, and some of the others are sort of like in agreement with him about leaving. He says, but when the time comes, you can either come with me, or you can rot in jail with the rest of these sorry bastards."
Cyrus.
Not everyone incarcerated, you know, seems to be aboard this. He only has a few people who seem to be willing to go along with his plans.
Cyrus clomps over to Otto and says, I don't, or whispers, I don't like this guy, but it's possible he could steal our ship.
Yeah, that would suck, wouldn't it? What if we pretend to escape with them, and then actually apprehend them and keep them here?
What?
Maybe they'd let us go after that.
Wait, are you guys pretending? Wait, what's gonna happen to the ship? Are you guys not gonna say anything about it?
Hmm? Are
Is
you
the ship
here?
gonna get
Hello?
stolen? No, I'm just wondering out of character. Wanting to know.
I'm not gonna let the ship get stolen. I'm not
Oh,
gonna let it
okay.
go that far.
Gotcha. But why is it getting stolen in the first place, though?
I
Or
don't
is
know,
that
'cause
just a
this guy
caution?
wants to leave using it.
Oh, he just asked.
We need to figure out what's going on with my augmentations because I won't be going anywhere quickly.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm good with machines. Can I figure out what's wrong with him?
Yeah, he's missing. Sorry, he's missing some very normal parts, very common things like fuses and such.
Is there anywhere I could easily find replacements for those? I guess within my prison cell. Probably
Within your
not.
prison cell, no. But I mean, just without it, probably. Like, there's panels and things with electronics, and you reckon you could get at least some of them working.
I don't know.
Uh,
Hey, buddy, what do you mean by when the time comes? What's the signal for this grand escape plan of yours, anyway?
Oh, you'll know. You'll know. These people don't believe in proper incarceration methods, so if there's ever some sort of problem or hazard on this ship, these cells will open right up.
Interesting.
Yes, they say it's humane, but it's going to be their own downfall.
mm.
That will be the sign. When the cell doors open, you can follow me, get off with this Hulk, or you can stay here with the rest of them.
I do feel like they're just starting to like us, though. I'm whispering to friggin'
Cyrus.
Cole's character again.
Cyrus.
Yeah, Cyrus. I named him too. That's embarrassing.
Why do you name yourself Cole Seal?
I didn't feel like it.
Damn, dude, you missed a huge opportunity.
Oh well, I didn't
I'm
think
gonna
it.
slurp over toward the wall because there's all this whispering and I don't know what anybody's saying.
It's okay.
We could probably, if the cell doors are going to open anyways, then we could probably split from these guys. And
Yeah, but they're gonna make a beeline for our ship, right? That's not good for us.
I hate to. I know these guys are probably pirates and do things that aren't very legal, but I feel I owe it to these guys for what we've done.
So you wanna quash the uprising, do you?
Yes.
Can I hear anything there's
How's Squidonian hearing?
that average?
Yeah, probably since you're glorped up next to the glass. Because they're just one cell over from you.
Okay. So I'm gonna like tap on the glass to get their attention and whisper through the holes. If we go along with this guy and he gets caught, we look a lot more guilty.
I guess we're like daisy chaining communication whispers at this point.
We're
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
space prison telephone.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna say that like the area you're in, like, yeah, you can hear each other, and yeah, probably a couple of other people can hear you talking too. But the officer is on like the other side of the room from you.
Oh,
So
there is
he-
still an
he
officer in
probably
here.
can't. Yeah, you know, I'm saying the Union officer.
Oh, okay.
This whole time too, I've probably been sending the guard to get me yet another glass of.
I think the guards, they're not cruel, and they do allow you like some of your lotion or whatever. What is it that you have for your skin?
It is Aquagel.
Aquagel. Yeah, they do allow you Aquagel.
Yeah, they gave me the case that I can't slip through, but they give me the industrial.
I think they give you whatever amount you said you need daily of it. And like a daily like a cup essentially of it. They wouldn't give you the whole container just because you could use it as a weapon.
Kill him with a barrel, yeah.
Yeah, just
Going
beat
all
him in
Donkey
the
Kong on him.
doom 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 doom.
I think the current plan is if the doors ever open, probably gonna like try and fix Cole real quick, and then maybe try and stop these guys from escaping. That'll win brownie points. Unless anybody else has any suggestions.
And yeah, you guys get plenty of time to discuss it, but you have to do it more covertly, as after a while, you know, guards come back into the room, and the officer goes back to being basically totally quiet, but he will give you like knowing glances from time to time.
He's just over there winking at us.
Not quite, but essentially
know,
yes.
Something is going on. We could turn in the Union officer.
I don't know, does anybody actually want to side with this guy?
No.
Didn't think so.
Oh, how interesting.
Because I don't think his plan is going to go very well.
Probably not, especially if we stop it.
Not
But-
if I have anything to say about that.
I'll be right back. Like 3
No problem.
seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, it's been over twice as long as he said it was gonna be.
Son of
Lying bastard.
a bitch, that asshole.
Well, I guess we have to kick him out then.
That lying son of a bitch.
That's why.
Oh man.
I guess we're winging it here.
Oh yeah.
Nothing buys brownie points with your. What do you call someone who's has somebody in prison? Your captors?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess that's a word. Nothing buys brownie points with captors than like just sitting in the cell with the door open, right?
I mean, that
Well,
would definitely, go some of the way for sure.
yes, but in the same token, we still want our ship.
Yeah, which is why we have to beat the crap out of this one dude. Easy.
All right. I mean, I'm game for it. But
Oh,
I'm
hey, back.
But you're normal. You're like normalized.
I'm not I'm less than normal right now. So
Yeah.
If the door is open, I can turn you back on probably
They
in
call
like
him
2 minutes.
Sub Optimus Prime.
but
you
the issue
call-
is, where do we want to beat him up? Do we want to be
Just fucking nut punch him.
well, duh, but what I'm saying is, do we want to do it
Just
in the
just
cell?
right in
do
front
we-
of the cards.
Do we want to do it in the cell, or do we want to like get me back online and then chase him down and do it?
You could tell him that you need his help to get you back online, and then while he's in your cell, you hit him on the head.
Yeah. Can we convince this guy that Cole is worth waiting on?
Yeah, you could definitely try. Who wants to roll for it?
I'm on a ship too.
Who
You're not
wants to
on-
roll persuasion.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can do whatever you want on the ship and get off of the ship if you want, but you're not there in the prison cell with making this decision.
No, I'm talking about like in the in the one that's gonna get stolen.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you
Stop it
don't
from getting
know
stolen.
that it's going to be stolen.
No, but I will be there, and hopefully
Yeah,
I
you
can
will,
react.
and that will be hilarious if that's what it comes to.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I just want to see what antics.
We'll see how it goes. I have a plan for what he's going to do, and we'll see what you guys do to deal with that. But yeah,
Wait, you already know his plan? That's unfair.
of
Ooh.
course I know what
plan.
his plan is. I'm the dungeon master.
Yeah, that's called being the dungeon master. What the
How
fuck?
could I not know what his plan is?
He's the one making it.
You mean you guys don't make all this up on the fly? What?
To be fair, I made it up just like 10-20 minutes ago.
But still,
But,
that's
yeah.
making it.
But
In
yeah, and
preparation.
after I figured out what he's going to do, I decided to be fair, I would stick to it instead of changing it based on anything you say.
Oh.
Those Union officers, so inflexible.
Yeah, and he's so inflexible. Like, I mean, you haven't seen this guy slouch once.
He might as well have a rod stuck up his ass.
Oh yeah, and all the way up his back and into his neck, because this guy is straight up and down all the time. Like, even when he's lying down, you feel like the ship has just tilted 90 degrees and he's still sitting upright, perfect flat.
Is he still in full uniform or is he in like prison
Yes,
garb?
he's still in full uniform. You're all still wearing your own clothes,
Oh.
things like
Can I
that.
tell what rank he is? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, he definitely has the insignia of like a ship's first officer.
All right. I don't really have anything to do with that knowledge. I was just curious.
No, yeah. He's not like a captain or an admiral or anything, but he would be part of a bridge crew of like a ship somewhere. Like basically like the captain's second hand man kind of guy.
Like good old
I'm
Lugo.
gonna tap on my glass to get somebody's attention and say, you should see if he knows anything about our situation.
I think he doesn't want to reveal that information yet. He's been secretive up until now. Saying he has a plan, wait for it. Doesn't sound like he's going to tell us. But I'm sure someone could sweet talk him if you want to have a go.
Does it look like I am the kind of species that would work with?
Yeah, it's a good point. The Union aren't super fond of aliens.
Fucking space racists.
It's not, it's, not all.
Space.
Hashtag not all. Sorry, space hashtag not all. But, yeah, I mean, most.
Alright then. I Cyrus would tell you I'm not gonna try and butter him up because that's not exactly my thing. Not exactly too hot at it.
So all of this has been, like, these conversations are drawn out, like, a lot longer than they are in real time for us, because you're having to pass them, like, when the guards aren't looking, or when there's, like, a rotation going on. Having to do it really quietly, and can't just hold, like, a straight-up conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, like, quite a lot of the day has gone by, and the lights are dimmed to simulate a nighttime cycle. And, yeah, and they're not like so dark that you can't see or anything, but they're dimmed so that it's not bright anymore. Yeah, and a lot of the inmates are sort of getting ready to sleep. You're all given a evening meal, and yeah, and that's where you are right now. The food's pretty good. It's it's like not like machine, generated slop. It's actually like they must have a chef aboard the ship, because it's not like gourmet, but it's definitely like hand cooked like food, like something
So
like
it's
spaghetti
chef
or whatever.
generated.
Yeah, that's not terrible. It's decent. You reckon you're probably eating what the crew is eating.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You're having your meal, and you notice the lights sort of they dim down a little bit extra dark, and they come back up again. And you can't help but instinctively look over at the officer when this happens, and you see him just like holding back a grin on his face. And he sort of like straightens out his uniform jacket and pants and sits there like he's waiting for something.
Did we convince the guy that I'm worth waiting for?
No.
Nobody ever tried.
All right then.
No,
I
you
could
not
have,
done
but
that.
I decided I wanted to let other people role play.
Yeah, so I think that one of you should tell him that the ship that he's trying to take is our ship, and he needs us to fly it because there is some sort of system that we need to disarm so he can fly it.
That's a good idea.
The system is called HM.
Basically, it's autonomous.
Needs to be disarmed with alcohol.
Alright, I will convey this information to the man.
Sure, sure. And he like, as soon as you say this, he says, "Ah, so you're going to come with me then?"
I mean, I guess sounds better than hanging around here.
Says, he just sort of gives you a nod. The guard's like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, nothing much. Not much to
No.
talk about in this hole.
What's all this about going with them? You guys aren't going anywhere. You're under arrest right now for various crimes.
The water in this ship has no salts in it at all, and we are going to complain to your management.
If you needed salt, you should have just asked. And he like goes over to like a desk, like there's various condiments for like the food, and he like takes out like a packet of salt, and like squeezes it through one of the holes to your cell.
Oh, so
Pocket salt.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So what's all this about leaving on ships? And at that moment, there's a sudden lurch as the lights cut off black and red emergency lights cut on. The guard is thrown against the glass case for your cell, Sparkles, and is knocked unconscious as he's thrown against it and backwards. You're all thrown across your cells if you're not already sitting. And you immediately hear the sounds of klaxons, sirens, people yelling, and the doors to your cells. You hear like a as the automatic locks disengage.
All right. Well, we best get started repairing me.
The officer is basically like, as soon as he picks himself up from being thrown against his cell, he is on his way out.
Hey, you mind if I put my friend here back together real quick? Shouldn't take more than a couple seconds.
He like looks at you with just anger and disdain, disgust. Says, "Hurry it up.
You know how helpful
have
it's
all
gonna
the
be
time
having a
in the world."
cyborg with us? Come on, man.
We're not getting another chance at this. Hurry it up."
Alright, I hurry it up. I'm going to attempt to put Cole back together with parts I scrounged around from the place.
Sure.
Should
Give me a
you?
roll.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get him at least moving at a normal speed, no matter what you roll. The question is how long it takes you.
Oh,
Alright,
time.
Cole, do you want to help?
Oh yeah, I'll help.
Yeah, sure.
I feel
I'll
like
tell-
I might be invested.
Well,
yeah,
both
I'll
you guys
tell.
have
I'll
to.
tell. I'll tell him.
Especially since I'm incapable of rolling anything positive. So
Ooh.
All right then. What? I guess I could use my cybernetic, like my fate aspect. Like I
yeah,
feel
sure.
like
I'll use mine too. That roll was
Yeah.
garbage. Here.
Yeah. Both of you use your aspects. You get +2s.
My
Cole, how do
mechanical
you-
knowledge aspect too.
All right. So I guess I'll use my clever. All right, and
I'm at +4.
that is a +2 +2 a 1.
Oh,
That
what?
is a +5
I
So
had
that's-
with all those bonuses.
I had
Yeah.
rolled a -3, but for some reason, if you pick up the dice, it just rolls them automatically.
Yeah, so Cole, unfortunately, your cybernetic enhancements are down, and you're unable to really help out. But luckily, he seems to have it all on his own. Like a man possessed, he's like running around to various panels and like screwing them apart just enough that he can get like his screwdriver in there and ripping them open. I should have mentioned, you guys, there's lockers right across from your cells. They have all of your shit in them, like your personal items.
Wow, this prison really does suck.
It's not meant for like long-term storage. It's like a ship's,
Brig.
brig, yeah.
I'm gonna go check the guard to make sure he's okay, and also to see if he has any radios or useful things.
The guard is breathing, but unconscious. If you had to guess, you reckon he probably has a concussion.
Does he have any like zappy things or weapons or anything?
He does have attached to his belt a laser weapon.
Does he have anything that would dismantle the electric thing that was on me? Like a
Let's see
key?
here. He has the remote to it. It has a lot of buttons on it.
Okay, I will just take that. Not press
Yeah,
them yet.
You might want to
Yeah,
experiment with that
I'm
later.
gonna wave at the officer guy and say, "Hey, help me put this guy in a cell."
He says, "Ah, good, you've got a pistol. Give me the pistol and I'll help you."
Okay, I am gonna. Is he close to me?
Yeah.
We don't want to help this guy, right?
That was the consensus.
That's
Yes.
the plan. I'm putting Cole back together so he can help me beat the stuffing out of him.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
I'm
you
gonna
have
try
done
to
it
get
in record
something that's
time. You're
within
like, Cole, you feel all of your mobility, like engines and motors, sort of like come back online and activate. So you have full like arm, leg, all of that motion back.
How about extendo fist?
No, but you can swing your regular fist just fine.
Damn.
Rocket punch!
Extendo fist was gonna be the play here, but I guess beating the shit out of this guy with metal fists is good enough.
The locker has the rest
I'm
of your
I'm gonna
parts.
put the pistol up against his head and say, "Get in the cage."
All right, give me a how do you want to do this? Like flashy or how do you reckon you're doing this? You're pulling this off? Are you like pulling a quick one on him? Are you sneaky?
Yeah, it's probably a
Are
quick
you-
one.
Yeah, okay. It's up to you. Play to your strengths.
I'm gonna do. Would that be more sneaky or clever?
It's whichever way. I could see how both would work. Clever would be like, you're like, hey, help me with this, and as soon as he gets close, you like pull the gun to his head. And sneaky would be like,
Yeah,
as soon as
that-
he's
that was
distracted,
more
you
what-
pull it out.
I
Yeah.
feel like the real clever solution is to not what they always do in the movies and keep your distance with the ranged weapon
Yeah,
so
just
that they
pull it
can't
on him
knock it out of
before
your
he
hands.
hits you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's whichever way. Give me a
Well,
roll
but
and
he
let's see what
would've
it
seen
is.
it coming. I'll do the clever.
All right, yeah.
You shoot him. Yeah.
Blah blah.
Oh yeah, that worked.
Ooh. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh
Okay.
no. That's a -2.
I'm not
You-
clever at all.
You pull the gun, but having freshly applied aqua gel to your tentacle, it slips from your hand
Oh,
and it gets thrown
Butterfingers.
across the room to him. However, you haven't failed so terribly because he thinks that you're just throwing him the gun like he asked you to.
Oh.
So he seems to
Well, it
take the
didn't
gun and
start-
accept it, and he starts helping you move the body into the cell.
Task failed successfully.
we did shoot this guy.
It is a mixed failure.
Okay, I'm gonna try another thing. Because I think this glass is pretty durable, right?
Yeah, it's very durable.
Okay, I'm gonna try really hard to while he's in there, run out and close.
So there is one issue. The locking mechanism is locked open right now because there's no power on the ship.
There you
It's
go.
only on emergency power.
Ah, dang it.
which is why they opened in the first place. Yeah.
Well, I guess I couldn't do that then.
I mean, you could, I guess, just like force your weight against it and keep him penned in there.
Yeah, I could do that as a stalling thing until the rest of them.
I mean, I think I'm active by this
Oh
point.
yeah, you're active. Yeah.
All right then.
You're ready to go. I just want to say that the ship shakes again, not nearly as violently. You assume the shields are now online and are absorbing some of the impact, but there's definitely some kind of some sort of battle going on outside.
All right then. I grab my guns and what is it? Cyrus has like 2 magnetic holsters on the back of him that he just like
Yeah, he just
snaps the
clicks them
guns
too.
to.
Nice, yeah. You
And
find the other parts for your cybernetics, but it would take too much time to install them now.
okay, I grab them and sorry to interrupt, Miss Squidonian. Or rather, I guess I'll do it in roleplay. Sorry, to interrupt you, Miss Squidonian. And then I just like fucking donkey punch him.
That'll work.
Give me a roll, forceful.
All right, don't fuck me this time, dice. Oh wait. Damn it! Grab all of them, and that is a +3.
All right. He let's see here. He doesn't see it coming, so I'm gonna give him a -2 on his roll, but I'm gonna give him a quick roll here. 2. Yeah, you get him. You bring it around, you smack him in the face, and like that's 2 extra points he would take off his stress. Yeah, I mean he's basically out for the count. He's not like a super strong guy or anything. He's a weakling.
Cole, did you call subdue? I hope you called subdue.
Oh, I retroactive subduement.
Subdue would mean that you're not killing him.
Yes.
That said, I don't think you've killed him anyways, luckily. I think you've simply broken his face.
Yeah, the medicine in this universe is amazing. I'm sure he can get facial reconstruction surgery.
Oh,
You can
yeah,
at least
that
get
looks
some
like an
cool
easy job.
cybernetics.
Yeah, Cox. Like, yeah, that's an easy job. Yeah, sure.
It's only a little brain damage.
I remove the pistol from this man.
Sure,
Just want
sure.
that
Yeah,
out there. I'm
take the pistol.
re-disarming him.
You're familiar with this make. It's like an older generation of laser pistol. You imagine it is literally from the time of the war, like the last Civil War, essentially.
All right,
I'm
cool.
gonna get my own pistol and the rest of my stuff from the locker.
Sure, sure. Yeah, it's an older gun, but I mean, it'll still work. It's a laser gun. It'll still, burn a hole right through you.
All right, so what now?
Should we
Hey,
get
that's
this?
up to you. You find yourselves in a room with the lights out, only emergency red lighting on, and yeah, there's like you could leave. There's a doorway to leave out of this room.
Hey, Gak, you think you could wake
The,
this guard up?
The guard had a radio thingy.
Oh yeah, radio thingy. Let's go with that instead of waking him up.
Yeah.
Can we listen in?
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, you can listen in. Right now, it's very chaotic. There's a lot of calls for all sorts of things. Lots of code is being used. Have any of you ever been in the military?
I feel like my mercenary background would. I haven't been in the military per se, but I feel like
Yeah, all right, cool. Your background, it's not perfect, but you catch a few things that like make sense out of all the jumbled mess. Some of the terms that you use as a mercenary came from veterans of military things, so some of them are still familiar. But the most of it you don't make out. What you do make out is that there's multiple attackers, and that currently most of like the ship's resources are being put towards damage control. There's like large sections of the ship that are just void, aka open to space.
An idea for an augment pops to Cyrus's head. Emergency oxygen helmet. That'd be nice. Seal the body. You know. Starts mumbling to
So
himself a
now
little
the
bit.
dilemma becomes: we could sit here and be good little prisoners and hope for those brownie points, or we could all get like murdered and vented into space if this ship gets shot down.
Are any of those vented areas near us?
It's hard to say. I don't think any of you are familiar with this particular kind of ship, so the section numbers they're calling out don't really mean anything to you.
Or we could go out there and kill people. The bad guys.
I don't think we want to kill anyone that's currently on this ship.
I don't think there was any indication of who was attacking us either.
I thought we were getting boarded.
They're being attacked. No.
We could go out and offer our help.
That
I
might be
feel
the
like-
better idea, but we would need. I'm gonna hand the comm thingy to the person who knows the mercenary thing. We might need your help to translate this to avoid those damaged areas.
Yeah, you reckon if you could get some sort of a map of this ship that you would probably be much more useful with this. But for now, you can at least tell that it seems like the fight is like sort of in a stalemate currently.
All right.
It's not
That's
what
about the
it
most you can
look
make
like
out.
the evacuation maps on the walls.
There
Oh,
is unfortunately in this area nothing like that. There is like an emergency like fire extinguishing unit, but nothing for air.
I'm gonna grab that just in case.
Sure, it's very small. It's like I'm trying to think like if you ever had like a paintball gun, like one of those canisters of CO2, or I guess like a wine bottle would be a better comparison. It's about the size of a wine
Yeah,
bottle.
I can. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a smaller sort of thing. It's not meant for heavy duty use, but yeah, it'll put out a fire for sure. It's the kind that shoots like liquid
Or
nitrogen.
smack
so it'll
somebody on the
fuse-
head real quick.
Yeah, or smack somebody on the head real hard with. That's true. It is sturdy steel frame. Yeah. But you turn to the only way out of this room, and you realize that there's no guarantee of what you'll find on the other side of the door when you open it.
Yeah, we really don't want to get into an accidental firefight with these guys.
Maybe we should wake up the guard.
I mean, yeah, that's an option. We can wait for him to wake up.
Because then he would know where
hard
we
did
were.
you hit him, do you think?
Oh, I didn't hit him. He slammed into a wall because we
Oh,
got shot.
how hard did he get hit against the wall then?
The impact, like it literally, the force threw him off of his feet into the air, before he hit the wall. So pretty hard. Not as hard as as Cyrus punched the Union officer. That's for sure.
Oh, can we send the team medic in there?
Yeah, Gak, do you carry around medical supplies with you?
Yeah, I probably would have had a small kit in my locker.
Sure, yeah. So,
yeah.
you have your small medical kit and you take it out. You reckon you could get him up on his feet, but he's gonna have a hard time moving around because of his concussion.
We just need
Alright.
him coherent.
Yeah.
Just enough to help us navigate and make people not immediately shoot us.
You also reckon that if you added another liver, that perhaps he would recover from the concussion quicker.
It's true. It's true. Weighing up the time of that, though, and the immediate need for his help and information, I'll probably save that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. You decide time is of the essence, and instead you pull out some like medicine to stabilize his condition and to sort of like a steroid type thing to sort of wake him up.
Also, while this is
2
going
weeks
on, I'll
later,
take a
he
look at
wakes
like
up
the
on our
shot
ship with
collar
an extra
thing
liver.
and see if I can get it off.
Sure, yeah. You when Gak gives you the controller, it becomes clear to you, working with like robotics and electronics all the time. It's very simple. You turn a few knobs, push a few buttons, and click. You Gak, you feel the connectors on the restraint sort of come off.
Ah, finally. Oh, it's been killing me.
Gak stretches out a number of odd tendrils and like limbs.
I
Oh,
don't-
we met.
yes.
I don't know if I'll ever get used to that.
Starts cracking like knuckles, but there's many, many knuckles in various places.
Yeah, you give the guard a shot of something good, and he comes awake with a start. Just oh gosh, what are you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Your
How's
ship.
it hanging?
What's going? Emergency lights.
I hand him his whatchamacallit, his like radio thing and say, your ship's under attack.
I've gotta, and he like tries to get himself up and immediately like flumps back over. He's like, dizzy.
Alright, focus on words. We'll figure out like movement at another time.
I have to get to my post.
All right, we can help you
Someone
with that.
carry him to his post.
I mean, I'm pretty damn strong, so
So, what's your name?
Oh shit.
Every
shit,
DM's
name-
favorite question.
Nameless guard needs a name. I'm
Guard number 12.
Ensign Roderick. There we go.
Well, Roderick, your ship has taken some damage.
Also, all the prison cells are open. Damnedest thing.
Yes, but that's less important.
That's not. It's not really. Why are you
Parts
even?
of the ship are venting atmosphere. We will need a way to get to your posts while avoiding those areas.
He like nods a bit and like listens to the radio for a bit, and he says, "We should be good to get through this way for a while. I have to see what it looks like when we get there."
Alright, I just don't want people. We want to help, but I just don't want people shooting at us thinking there's a prison break going on at the same time.
I think we have bigger problems than a prison break right now.
Alright. Let's get it.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
open up the doorway,
to
you
me
prop him up.
Yeah.
Prop him up, you open up the
that
doorway. Oh, sorry, what?
the officer knew this was coming.
Yes.
I think she's trying to tell the guy that.
Oh, right. Oh. Yeah, I
It
had
may
a-
be his friends who are attacking us.
He like listens to the radio chatter for a while, and he says, "Unknown. They'd be talking about it if it was Union guys."
Weird. All
He
right.
says, "Here, just right through this way." You're like moving through the corridor, and he like comes up to a door, and he's like about to open it, and then he like pulls his hand back, and he says, "This one feels hot. Let's go this way." and he like turns to the side and pops open another door. It leads to like sort of a maintenance shaft.
Nice.
You walk through this winding maintenance shaft for quite a while. The emergency lighting was dim outside, but this area is very dark, and you can only see through like tiny, like a couple of emergency lights here and there, and then there's like a torch that was hanging at the entrance that he picked up, that he's using to sort of like guide his way as he leads you.
Are
Ah,
either of our alien friends bioluminescent?
Ooh,
Well,
glow in the dark.
That was a pretty 90s fad.
All right.
so
Hmm.
passe.
Not very brightly, but
We're able to see you out of the dark.
You have like little like patterns that just sort of like glow a little bit lightly on your skin.
yeah, I will light myself out like the aliens on Avatar.
Oh.
Nice. Yeah, so yeah, you have some light to work with as you go through this thing. And he like stops for a minute and he like looks at all of you, and there's like a clear like, you know, he was in pain before, but he gives a pained expression. He says, I really shouldn't do this, but I don't know. I always thought you guys seemed all right. I hope I don't regret this. And he like opens up the doorway, and you're there on the bridge of the ship.
all right.
Wait,
Oh,
Cole.
alright.
How do you not have a flashlight attached to your person?
I was thinking that at the same time, but we'll just say he was focused on carrying the guy. He
Okay.
Yeah,
wasn't thinking
yeah.
about flashlights.
Yeah, it's part of your turret attachment, but since that's disabled currently,
There we
yeah,
go.
it wasn't working. There you go.
There we go.
The shoulder-mounted flashlight laser gun.
You pull yourselves out of like a smoky, dark corridor full of wires and pipes, and into the very large, clean, sort of smooth edge shapes of the control bridge. And there before you is the captain and the first officer, both very busy with their tasks aboard the ship. As you look out at the view screen, you can see that they're fighting something that looks like asteroids.
Mm.
Like, they look like chunks of rock that are just throwing themselves at them.
This is what happens when you try to navigate an asteroid field, I'm saying.
All right.
The odds of it are incredibly low.
Yeah, yeah. They the guard, he says Ensign Roderick reporting in, sir. And the captain looks around and says, "My gods, where have you been? What in the world happened to you?" And
There's been a
I
prison
see you've
break.
brought a this. Well, that doesn't matter now, anyways. This looks like it looks like we're going to get out of this just fine. Something new to note in the strange parts of the galaxy. Yeah, you sort of see like on the view screen that like they're slowly clearing like out of like the asteroid field, and the like rocks and things are getting less and less. And says it's a bizarre quirk of this area. These asteroids seem to be magnetically charged.
Huh.
We didn't
Well,
They
that must
didn't
be how I'm feeling
always used to
from it.
be this way. We think some sort of reaction has undergone in their cores that's made them suddenly magnetic.
I can see how that would present a problem.
Well, it's more of a problem than you might think. We made use of the heavy metal cores to shield our ship from detection, but now that we've had to leave, I'll have to find somewhere else to go. And he like looks you up and down after like sort of surveying the main screen and says, "So what are you doing on my bridge, anyways?"
I don't know. We
Your,
kind of came up here to help, but you seem to have a handle on it.
Says your ship is there and unguarded in the dock. Why didn't you just go for it?
I kind of feel like we maybe owe you guys one after the whole,
Says, see officer, see Lido. I told. He's like, I was hoping this would be the case. And he like has like a broad grin on his face, and he sort of walks up to you and he says, sort of sweeping his arms around all of you, and he says, "Here, come with me. For now, you can help with the damage control, but I have something else that I want to talk with you about while we work."
All right. I sit our guard friend on a nearby seat.
Yeah, he like looks at you thankfully, and like nods affirming.
It was time for a sit down.
Yeah, he appreciates the help.
Don't go to sleep. You might not wake up.
Says I'll live. Yeah, you make your way with the captain. You begin sort of going around, just sort of helping to move supplies essentially down hallways and things for the repair efforts. He says, I have quite an amazing ship here, a relic from a time gone, back when the Rim had its own fleet. He says, some of us here long for that time again. A time when the Rim worlds can have their own form of governance, where we can make our own laws and rules, and where we aren't beholden to the uncaring core worlds. He says, I have a feeling that maybe you share this
And we
vision, at
all
least in
stood
part.
there awkwardly silent.
Well, the Great Tuathan had its own government, but it was my understanding that was mostly because the core worlds couldn't find it.
Says that has been he sort of grins and he says that has been our trick as well for these past 100 years or so.
Honestly, the core worlds have never been kind to the Rim world I grew up on. I have no love for them, except they make good things.
Aye, the technology is great, but it is very much like the devil's bargain of old. What do you give up for that greatness? How much humanity is lost?
Oh, fair enough. I'm not saying that I'd be against fighting them. They deserve it at this point.
He says, we can't offer you much. We can offer you a wage. We can offer you a place to live, a reason to go on living. But beyond that, there's very little we can offer you. You already have your own ship, which I believe is probably better than most people and our employee can get.
Damn. That's kind of sad.
It is unfortunate. It takes quite a great deal of engineering and cooperation to build the large vessels such as the one that we're sat on.
Are you still here, Jason? Jason is not here.
Jason has left the building.
Jason is now here.
Hello?
Hello.
Welcome back.
It was so dark and scary. I didn't think I would ever be back.
Yeah, I've been the Confederate guy has been telling us that the core he wants to bring about change where the core world, or not the core worlds, the rim worlds can have their own governments away from the Union. And I've been
It's not so
agreeing.
far-flung an idea. There was a time when we built ships such as these. This one was built entirely by a Rim World Federation. A confederation, I guess I should say.
I see. Well, honestly, I kind of work for I work for pay, and as long as you're paying me, I'll work for you.
He nods and he says, "We have use for men like you. Although we do hope to hire those who are ideologically in tune."
As I said, I don't have a particular fondness for the core worlds. I grew up on a rim world myself.
No problem. I
Did it-
understand. There is
Yeah.
pay involved for doing this work.
From what we saw, just briefly, did it look like their navigational system was better than ours, or not?
Oh yeah, man. God, you would it would be like a dream to play with their navigation system. They've got like fucking like 10 different antenna arrays and shit, and each one of those antenna arrays is better than all the sensors on your ship.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's fancy.
Yeah, I tell him, if you keep some part of your sensors attuned to look for a celestial turtle, then I might be willing to help you.
Use of our ship facilities like that are granted only to those who have really earned the trust, and even then, we can only give them away at certain times. But should you should you be commissioned by us and you do enough missions, you accrue enough reputation, I don't see any reason why we couldn't dedicate at least one of our arrays to searching for your problem, at least for a time.
That sounds fair enough.
That said, you'll all be given a commission that you may do with whatever you want. Perhaps you would want to construct your own arrays or improve your own ship's capabilities. It will be up to you. And we will, of course, give you access to our shipyards. Well, shipyards, I say. Access to the equipment and to refitting. We don't really have full shipyards. You can dock at one of our stations or with us here, and you can do your repairs in the hangars.
All right. Sounds fair enough to me.
And what about you, Captain? He looks
Yeah,
to
it seems like my crew's already decided, so I'm on board.
a
I don't
good
have a
captain.
particular fondness for the Union myself, so.
A man after my own heart. They say a captain has 2 ears and 1 mouth because he should listen twice as much as he speaks.
You know,
Indeed.
that doesn't have to be the way.
He like looks at you and gives you a wry grin. He says,
You could have 3 ears or
No limit on ears, really. We found the more the better.
he sort of says, yes, perhaps this is more of a human adage. But he says, we can speak more about the specifics later. For now, I'll send you to the quartermaster, and they will go ahead and give you whatever supplies you need. And when you're finished there, we will talk about the official contract paperwork and all of that.
All right.
But yeah,
Let's-
I think
Sounds
that's
Great.
that's going to be where we call this session.
Nice.
What has HM been doing this whole time?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry about that. What do you think during all of this? Like the ships being
He's
attacked
just
and
got
shook?
super drunk or something. Just
Just look out the window and oh hey, they're being attacked.
I don't notice it actually. I'm sulking now because I'm like,
You drank all the fucking beer.
yeah, I
now
drink
I'm
all of it,
sad.
I
No
drink
more
it.
booze.
and then I'm like, what if they left me? What if they went back to that space pirate planet and left me here all by myself? And then I drink.
Drink some more.
Yeah.
God, you couldn't be
Try not to
satisfied.
cry a lot.
Couldn't be satisfied
Starts-
with my.
They're probably
the
having
spe-
more fun with the space pirates than me.
I mean,
He's like, he gets desperate and starts drinking random fluids like aerogel and like aquagel and stuff. Like,
Wow, there's nothing bad.
Break
It's like-
open the food crates and like swallow a dehydrated dude.
What's in this water?
there's oil in this. I bet that'll get me something.
Yeah, it'll be- Oil's like soda.
I imagine we'll get back on there and find him like sadly trying to bruise over out of
Be like-
whatever he could find on this ship.
Be like hanging from a noose, and just be like, I forgot I couldn't hang myself, and now I'm kind of stuck up here.
I don't have a fix. I don't have an esophagus.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking straight, okay?
I just wanted to end it, but I can't.
boo-hoo.
Oh man.
All right. Well, last time we tried to impress a faction, we ended up in prison. So
That is true.
Maybe we shouldn't have maybe we shouldn't have tried to impress the faction of backstabbing assholes.
we couldn't have known.
We couldn't have known, and B, we didn't have much choice.
And we
So
did
wait.
try to find out what was in the box. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like we didn't
Man,
put
I
any
was-
effort.
You know that gif of that guy who's like sweating like crazy, like because he's worried?
Oh, you mean the
Yeah.
the Key and Peele? I forget
Yeah,
which.
yeah. Perfect. Yes. Yeah,
Like
that
there,
was
there
me
it is,
basically
like that.
as you guys were inspecting the crate. Yes, that's it. It was just me,
I
just
mean-
like, oh god, are they going to notice it's a bomb? Please don't notice it's a bomb.
My
Yeah, that-
plot. No.
There's so much sweat.
But yeah, that was totally me right before, just like, oh god, oh god. Oh man. Oh yeah, that's good. That went pretty well. You guys actually surprised me by taking the path that I thought you would take.
Wow.
I
Wow.
know, right? I
That
made a bunch of
never
contingencies.
We're gonna have
They
to
did-
change that next session. People
We
start
just need to
just
have-
go wild.
Wild
What,
cards.
what were
yeah.
some of these
Disney.
contingencies you were planning for?
Well, you could have helped the guy. You could have used the guy to get access to your ship to just escape, which would have been sort of like the neutral option.
The
You could have
neutral option's
reported
always
the
the
guy
most
to
boring.
them. Yeah, you could have reported the guy to them, and then the other option is you could have tried some other sort of subterfuge to escape.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's like I came up with a wide variety of different ways that you might deal with it beyond the straightforward, way that you guys went with. Just fine.
Yeah.
My character's pretty straightforward, so.
Like I said, I'm not saying it was a bad thing. It was just that's probably the first time ever I've had a party do the thing that I actually expected they would do.
Yeah, that never happened.
No, it never
The
does.
stars have aligned in that moment.
I was kind of wondering whether HM would like try to do a rescue plan or something, or just get bored and decide to like start roaming the other ship, but that never came up.
I felt like he got close at some point.
I would assume that HM had no idea where to go, and that he didn't want to leave.
Yeah, what if you guys
He was
like then
scared
got
of
back to the
alone.
ship and then left without him?
Also, if there's nobody in the ship, then somebody will start squatting. So he's just keeping it safe from that.
He's
Yeah.
squatting instead.
Exactly.
He's just slab squatting all over the place there.
He could be a chair if you wanted to.
So I guess we've gone from free traders to freedom fighters.
Jason, you disconnected again.
Yeah, we said we were done. Right?
Fizzle.
Yeah.
You're not gonna stick around, even
I'm
though,
still here. I'm in Discord. I haven't left.
and just fuck around on the board. I like
Do
it.
that, or I could play more Fire Emblem.
Oh,
There we
hey, can I get a orange pawn?
go. Orange.
Yeah, we don't have the orange.
I don't know what
one
happened to it. It's
these
just
days.
disappeared.
Yeah,
like-
it got deleted at some point at the end of last session, so it got saved without it.
Yeah,
Very
me
easy enough to add back in.
and Cyrus's have disappeared
Orange.
somehow.
What other color? do
Pink.
Pink.
Pink. We just got deleted.
There we are.
Vaporized.
There we are. Cool.
I'm just in here drinking.
All right. Let me save it then real quick here. Do. Save. All right. Cool. Oh man. Cool. Yeah, I was worried maybe I hadn't written enough content for the session. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I could have added some
It
more.
felt like a lot.
But yeah.
We talked enough so that we
Yeah, I still haven't gotten the hang of my character.
You still haven't what?
Really gotten the hang of my character yet.
Yeah, you have to.
Channeling your inner squid seems difficult.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
I figured out her motivations, so there's progress.
Yeah, I like that. I noticed the motivation coming out, and that's cool. That's a good motivation.
Yeah, my story is I figured out was her ship was taken by pirates or exploded, and the coordinates to her planet were in there.
Oh man, yeah. It's probably not even just coordinates. It's probably like something that's
Yeah,
almost
like the
magic.
whole
It's like the compass that leads you.
project.
What is it like in what was it? In Pirates of the Caribbean, the compass that leads to the Isle of Tortuga or whatever.
No, it was the compass that
to
leads
your
to the
heart's
sea.
desire. Or
Yes.
Yeah, something like that, but like that leads cause Artuan is constantly moving. And so like it would be like a very specialized thing, like not just a coordinate. It would be a thing
Yeah,
that always tells you
like
where it is.
can calculate where it's going.
Either magic or science, whichever way.
Yeah, and without the ship or the equipment to do that, it's pretty much impossible to find.
I mean, it could be found, but yeah, it's gonna be hard.
Really hard.
I don't think many, if any, people have found it before. Probably a few have. Probably a few have ended up on the Disc world. You know, just by accident stumbling upon it. But
Yeah, that was how she got into smuggling. Was people had crashed there because it wasn't in their navigational stuff.
I like that. They crash there, you help them get off, you like ride in the ship with them, and then your ship gets like destroyed and you lost your like your way to find your way back home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because if anybody leaves there, they have to, have a way.
What was that, Cole?
Oh, I was going. I realized that I was interrupting something, so I kind of just shut up. But I was also thinking that I also have to work out my character's motivations. other than money. You know.
Makes
Yeah,
the world go
I
round.
have the backstory and the motivation now. It's just her personality I have to pin down.
Yeah, I'm the opposite right now. I've got the personality mostly figured out. I kind of need to get it more consistent, like instead of like swapping between oh I'm a badass and
Hmm.
where oh I'm swapping between oh I'm a badass and the last session before this one I was acting really cautious and I kind of figured that my character probably wouldn't act like that after the fact. But yeah.
No, yeah. It's something that'll happen, and because we had the pause, it kind of killed a little bit of the momentum we had. When we do this more consistently, it'll grow on you, your
Mhm.
character.
Indeed.
But yeah, and then for you, Sparkles, for the personality, I find